Hello, everyone. It's November the 15th. Thanks for being with us. I don't think we got a lot of stuff here today, but we'll go through what we got. We got some wonderful rains going on right now as far as the potential of bad stuff to our forest. And today I'm announcing that the statewide burn ban has now been lifted. The forestry folks tell me this is okay and good stuff, and so with all that, we still caution everybody to be careful. We don't know what's going to happen. You know, if all of a sudden the rain shuts off and we get a bunch of more dry weather, we'll put it back in place. But just be really careful and be thankful that we've gotten this rain, because our beautiful forest and everything, we don't want them on fire and all that kind of stuff. We sure don't want anything like that. I caution everybody, you know, we're just days away from the opening of the buck firearms season, which opens on Monday, November 25th. I tell everybody, you know, to be super safe. You know, you got to be safe all over the place. I mean, you're getting in and out of a tree stand, you're going across a fence somewhere. Be sure and just use really great gun safety, you know, guidelines and everything. You know, my dad taught me stuff at a really, really early age, but you just got to be really careful and absolutely, you know, make absolutely certain as to what you're shooting at, and know that a high-powered rifle, you know, travels a long ways and everything. So don't take shots that, you know, where you're shooting over a little rise and everything, and bullets traveling a long ways. It's really, really a time of year to celebrate, a time of year for tradition, a time of year absolutely that if we don't watch out, we're going to have, you know, unfortunately, a tragedy. And so be really careful. Wear your blaze orange, be in compliance, and enjoy this great time of year that so many people do enjoy in the great mountains of West Virginia. So be safe, be really super safe. And also, you know, we want you to send your photos in to our Big Buck photo contest and everything. It's the 4th time we've done this and everything. So be sure and send them in, and like I said over and over, enjoy this time of year. It is really, really special. Take a kid and everything, and introduce them to the beautiful nature and the wilds of West Virginia. Also, it's really, you know, before you know it, we're going to have winter. And in fact, you know, yesterday evening with this little bit of rain and the temperatures dropping and everything, we probably had some black ice in some spots. You got to be really careful on the highways. I have declared next week, November the 18th through the 27th, as Winter Weather Awareness Week in West Virginia. I'm going to sign a proclamation right now doing so, and but I want you again over and over and over to just be super careful on the highways, because winter time's here, and we're going to have it for probably a good while. But this is a proclamation we're signing and everything as far as Winter Weather Awareness Week, as far as that goes next week. But this is just the very beginning of winter in this great season, and it's beautiful beyond belief, and just be careful. Just be a little bit extra careful. We have today, I'm announcing that next week we're going to celebrate National Rural Health Day. You know, we've done a bunch of stuff in regard to rural health. We've invested millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to improving the rural health care in all across this great state. You know, I've said it over and over, but the hospitals, the rural health hospitals, are our lifeblood, and they're so vital to this great state. We've had huge increases in staffing numbers, you know, while I've been here and everything. I'm really proud of that and everything. And right now we've got another $40 million rural hospital grant program that's going on. You know, there's just so much that we've done, but we got to continue. We got to absolutely keep this going and do even more. You know, no matter where it is or where it may be, our rural hospitals are our lifeblood, And we don't need to forget that. So celebrate with us and everything. This National Rural Health Day. It's National Young Readers Week and Family Read Week in West Virginia. Kathy, yesterday, I think it was yesterday, it may have been the day before yesterday, visited Lewisburg Elementary and read to those kids and everything. She read a book that is a Dolly Parton book, and we all know that Dolly Parton has done phenomenal stuff in regard to books that have gone to schools and everything and programs and everything. And there Kathy is and everything, reading to those kids. I mean, it's good stuff. Kathy's done an amazing job, with communities and schools and this Friends and Paul's and everything, and just so many different things. But just look at those kids right there, please. Just look at those kids and know how important it is for a first lady to be with them, but absolutely know how important it is to get them on the right foot as far as beginning to read and do great, great, great stuff. The reading that you do through your life and everything just accelerates all the good things that are out there available to you. And so just look at them and look at their faces. I mean, gosh, dog, no matter what anybody says about me, I love kids, and I love being with them. And I've coached forever, so I continue to do that in many ways. But those are younger fellas and girls and everything. It's just it's neat stuff to me. So just God bless our wonderful children in this unbelievable state, and the teachers and all those that are with them, whether it be service personnel or whomever it may be. It's really, really good stuff. That's all I've got. It was pretty short and sweet today. We'll take your questions. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Governor. We'll now take questions from members of the media. Our first question today is from Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, Governor. This is Charles Young with WV News. I have a question about the upcoming gubernatorial transition process. So my understanding is that you're set to be sworn in to the Senate on January 3rd, but Governor-elect Morsey won't actually be sworn in until the 13th. So in the interim between those two swearing-ins, Senate President Craig Blair will be the acting governor up until the 8th, when a new Senate president will be sworn in. So we're actually going to have 4 different individuals in 10 days who will be the governor. Is that your understanding of the process? And kind of what can folks expect during this leadership process? Thank you.
Charles, we're still a long ways from a final decision on the fact, when I'm going to be sworn in and how that all is going to happen and everything. But Charles, if it happened like what you've described, yes, that's exactly what would happen. We would have me going out on the 3rd, Craig coming in for, 5 days, and then a new governor coming in, for the next 5 days, and then Patrick Morrissey coming in after that. We are working on this transition on how we're going to do that and everything. The cleanest way is for me to stay in office until the 13th, and then pass the torch to Patrick, as the proper way to do it. But with the dates and everything, all that may not work out that way. But we're still working on it. So that's not set in stone yet at all. But you are correct, that if it were to flow that way, what you described, Charles, is right on the money. And you always get it right, but we just haven't made those final decisions yet.
All right, thank you, Charles. Next up is Curtis Johnson with WSAZ.
Good afternoon, Governor. Thank you so much, or good morning, I guess. We're still in morning here. Thank you so much for taking my question. I'm trying to make sure I'm positioned correctly here on the camera. There we go. Sorry, sir.
There you go.
Hey, so as you all know, the state playoffs, football playoffs are on hold. The volleyball single A playoffs are also postponed. All of this as multiple schools are seeking injunctions at the local level, and the Supreme Court itself is involved. We're just hearing one of the Supreme Court justices has recused himself from the proceedings. Meanwhile, countless students and parents just want to play ball. Are you concerned about the reflection this has on West Virginia? And do you have any ideas on how all of this can be resolved?
You know, Curtis, this would be real easy for me to pass, you know, and just to say to you, the SSAC is basically elected by the county superintendents and the county school boards and really and the principals and so with all that being said, you know, Curtis, you know me well enough to know that I don't pass on many things and I don't punt very often and here's how I feel. And this is all there is to it. Now, I'm going to probably not make a lot of friends right now, but I'm going to tell you just straight up, the SSAC needs to get their act together on this, and really and truly, they need to, you know, I mean, and a lot of it, they don't have a choice, because when somebody sues, it goes to court, the judge rules a certain way and everything, and the SSAC, what can they do? Well, what, you know, but at the same time, you know, with the changing of from, you know, quad A to triple A to double A and all that kind of stuff, you have all kinds of issues. Now, I know enough about this to be maybe just a little dangerous here because you know, I'm a coach and I've surely been involved in sports for a long time. But the net of the whole thing is we need unbelievable transparency, but we've got to have people that are going to stand up and say, these are the guidelines. This is what we have put together, and these are the guidelines, and this is what we're going to do. Now, you know, because here's the thing, Curtis, and here's the bottom line from a coach's standpoint. For crying out loud, you know, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? I mean, are we going to continue to have kids have football practice, you know, and maybe, or volleyball practice, and those kids, you know, are we going to delay the basketball season? You know, are we going to bring kids out of football practice and put them right into to basketball and play them in a game tomorrow night? And before you know it, you're going to have a kid get hurt, and we're exposing our children and everything. I mean, to me, you know, if we don't watch out, we've got a complete dog's mess going on, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and you know, and unfortunately, you know, I'm removed from this process. You know, and so I mean, this is a process that I guess I can get in if I have to get in, but we've got to have transparency, and we got to have resolution to this now. Or what's going to happen, sure as I'm sitting here, is you're going to have kids trying to do two different things all at one time, and even though the rules may state, well, you got to come to basketball practice for 5 days before you can play, or this or that and whatever, and before you know it, you're going to have kids get hurt. And to me, you know, we're disrupting our communities, we're disrupting our schools, but with all that being said, we're endangering our kids too. And then that becomes bottom line to me. So I don't like it any more than you like it, and you know, I'm monitoring it, you know, every day. So we'll stay on top of it.
Thank you, Curtis. Next up is Lori Kersey with West Virginia Watch.
Hi, Governor Justice. Lori Kersey with West Virginia Watch. I wanted to ask you this morning about the Affordable Care Act. More than 200,000 people in West Virginia get their health insurance through provisions in the law. We know that President-elect Trump tried to repeal it during his first term. There have been some mixed messages about the future of the law this term. Should that come up again, how would you vote? Should a repeal come up, how would you vote? And just generally, how do you plan to balance advocating for the interests of West Virginians with your loyalty to your friend, President-elect Donald Trump? Thank you.
Well, let me say this. I think we're way premature. And as far as speculating on what's going to come to us and everything, let's just take some deep breaths and just wait and see what really does come. Now, there's no question that I'm really loyal to, President-elect to be, President Trump. I mean, I really am excited about the fact that whether you disagree with me or not, it doesn't really matter to me. But really, at the end of the day, I'm excited about the fact that I do think we can put this country on the right path and really go. If you believe we're on the right path now, I mean, I just can't go there. I do not believe that. But with all that being said, what you can expect out of me is, irregardless to whom it may be, I'm going to be objective, and I'm going to be fair, and I'm going to try with all in me at all times to protect the great people of West Virginia. That's what you put me there for. At the end of the day, I've said it 10 million times, but I'm not going up there to make friends. I'm going up there to do the work. I am absolutely. I really do believe that President Trump will bring to the table tons and tons and tons of goodness, and we'll get a lot of good stuff done. But on the other hand, like I said, I'm too old to be going there to try to get the next hot tip or whatever it may be. I'm not there for that. I'm not there. By the time that I'm done, how much seniority could I possibly get? Well, not much. But at the end of the day, I am there and going to do the right thing for the people of West Virginia and the right thing for the people of this country. So I got a lot of confidence in President Trump, but at the same time, we're going to go there and we're going to do the right stuff.
Lori, thank you. Next up is Keelan Bailey with West Virginia Public Broadcasting.
Hello, Governor. Keelan Bailey, West Virginia Public Broadcasting. The other day, Governor-elect Morrissey said that his transition team is collaborating with your office on budget policy. I was wondering if you wanted to comment on how that process is going and if you have any concerns with recent fiscal year reports showing some revenue drop-off for the state.
Okay, now, I couldn't understand that real well, but, hold on just 1 second.
Keelan, do you want to try again here?
Sure. So Governor-elect Morrissey said that he was collaborating with your office about transitioning next year into budget policy. And I was wondering if you want to describe how that collaboration has been going between your office and his office, and if there are any concerns arising. We've seen some drop-off in revenue reports recently, for example, from the Senate Finance Committee.
I do think that the teams are working together really well, and I think that's really good. And we're going to be as beneficial, or we're going to be as supportive and cooperative as we can possibly be with Governor to be Morrissey, and I want Patrick to knock it over the fence. I really do. We dug ourselves out of an unbelievable hole, and this state is cooking and moving in the right direction right now, and we're hopeful that with the things that maybe we can do in D.C., things are going to just get better right here. At the end of the day, we've cut taxes and cut taxes and cut taxes and put more money in what I always call Edith and Toby's pockets, and because they're the voters, and with all that being said, I would just say just this. Governor to be Morrissey is going to have to really mind the store, and he's going to have to be on his toes, and he's going to have to watch and do the right things and push the right buttons all the time. This is not an easy job, That's all there is to it. And you've got to absolutely know what you're doing and everything. And I'm confident that he will do exactly that. But if you don't, then not good things will happen. I will promise you that. So with all that being said, I can remember just like it was yesterday. We awakened to COVID, and we awakened to an April where all of a sudden, poof, here we were looking at $200 million, in a deficit in 1 month, and so with all that being said, you don't really know what's going to come at you, and you've got to be able to handle it, and you've got to be able to push the right buttons at the right time, and you've got to be able to listen to the people. I mean, listen to them, listen to the people over top of listen to advisors or lobbyists or whatever, So with all that being said, we'll work together, and after I leave this position and everything, I'll be available any hour of the day to try to help Patrick and everything, and I'll surely look on him to be a great friend, and that's exactly what I'll be. So it'll be good. It'll be good. One way or another, we'll get through all this, and everything will be really good.
Keelan, thank you. Next up is Evan Bevins with Ogden News.
Good morning, Governor. Wanted to ask you about your thoughts on some of President-elect Trump's appointments to key positions like Robert Kennedy, Matt Gaetz, and other announcements he's made, and just wanted to get your thoughts on those as you'll be asked to vote to confirm some of them. Thank you.
Well, first of all, and this isn't a dodge in any way, because let me finish what I would say, but I think it's premature for me to comment. Naturally, I'm really supportive of President Trump, and I'm sure that his folks, are really evaluating, vetting, whatever you want to call it, the appointments and everything. And from that standpoint, we'll do the same thing in the Senate. I'll do the same thing. But I can tell you this. President Trump is a guy, and we're a lot alike. His appointment on the surface may look like, well, gosh, why did he do that? Really and truly, there's a person out there that's more qualified. But he has to have people around him that he can really count on, that are loyal to him, and that he can really count on. They'll make mistakes. But at the end of the day, if he's got the right team, a team that he can really work with and everything, and really work well with, it'll end up a better thing for all of us. May not be perfect in the beginning. And then the other thing, and this from President Trump, it, is if things aren't going right, whoever is at the helm is in big trouble. And so what does he want? He wants the same thing that I've wanted. Make sure it goes right. That's all there is to it. Make sure the outcome is right. Remember what my dad always said. Don't confuse effort with accomplishment. We want to accomplish in this nation, and I wanted to accomplish here as your governor in West Virginia. With all that being said, you may feel like, well, he's more qualified or she's more qualified for that job than the person that President Trump, came up with and appointed. Absolutely. At the end of the day, I think that his folks, I have never seen a group of people, and it's the honest to goodness truth. You think how efficient and how absolutely on their game the Trump folks are. It is unflat believable. Before, when he was president, if you went to the White House, it was, literally, they knew what you wanted to talk about, even if you hadn't mentioned it to a soul before you ever got there. And the president was aware of it and everything. They are, to say they're efficient is the understatement of all time. I mean, they got their act together, and so we'll see, you know, and we'll get into it. Premature for me to comment more than that. All right, thank y'all.
Evan, thank you. Everybody else, thank you as well. Governor, back to you.
Okay, good questions. I appreciate them and everything. You know, we surely got to get this sports thing worked out and everything, because at the end of the day, I really believe that schools and communities and especially those kids deserve that we got to get a game plan and then go with it. There's too many people that are weighing in so many different directions and everything, and before you know it, what's going to happen, sure as I'm sitting here, you're going to have kids get hurt and because they're trying to do too much. Let me just check real fast and everything. You know, all the stuff that's going on in D.C., you know, from my perspective, it's been exciting stuff and everything. We elected a new leader yesterday, and you know, to the Senate, and you know, and we were in the old Senate chamber, and you know, historic beyond belief and humbling, you know. But at the same time, I think you see, you know, you can feel a real excitement in Washington that things are going to get better. I mean, America needs those feelings that we're going to get better. There's real hope and there's real belief that we can do better. And you know, I really believe that that's more of the feeling that's going on everywhere you go up there, and you see a real, you know, step, you know, that's quicker and faster, and it's just right now it's good stuff. And so there's so many different things, you know, I could get into, but we'll wait for another day on all that. Remember, you know, that all the good stuff, you know, and all the fun and the great stuff and the tradition of our hunting season that's about to come, and I'm glad about the ban that we've gotten some beautiful rains, and remember that the roads and everything can get really tough. I mean, it's all there is to it. Especially watch for the black ice and everything. We celebrate all the good stuff that's going on in rural health and all of our kids and everything, and the reading and all the great successes that Kathy's had as our First Lady. So that's all I've got. But thank you so much, and we're excited. We're excited to bring in a new governor in West Virginia, and with all the blessings that I could possibly pass on in every way, from a standpoint that I want nothing but more goodness in this great state. You know, we're worth it, and I love our people. I love our people beyond good sense, and I thank you for giving me the unbelievable honor to be your governor 2 terms. It was really an incredible ride, so thank you. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. We've still got a couple months, and we're going to continue to run through the finish line. God bless each and every one of you. Thank y'all.